Hello and welcome back to the Nexus Gaming series. I am the Crushinator, and tonight I am bringing you some Division A East action. We've got two excellent teams with us today. We're going to be featuring Wimzie's House versus Tricky Gooses. Here in this Week 2 matchup, excited. Recognize a lot of these players from previous squads, previous seasons. So we're going to be getting into it soon. Teams are in the lobbies, they're making sure everything's all set, they're making sure they're ready to go. Hopefully you out there are having an excellent evening, and you're ready for this best of 3. I'll let them know that I'm all set, and we will go to the map select. Let you know what's going on with these maps today. Wimzie's House banning away Sky Temple and Volskaya Foundry. You've got Tricky Gooses banning out Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis Holdout. Going to be starting things off on Dragonshire as chosen by Tricky Gooses. Wimzie's House won the coin flip and opted for the first pick. Irby coming in hot with the 5 Tier 1 gifted subs. Hitting CPX, Whisper, Dudettes, You're Fired, Bud, and Elixia. What a fine group of folks. Irby, thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it greatly. And good luck in today's game. Irby coming in here on Wimzie's House. And just like that, the draft is ready. Let's jump on in. Let's jump on in. We've got ourselves quite a series today. We'll see what the drafts are like. We're up in a level where teams generally have pretty flexible hero pools. Some pretty interesting strategies built out here. So this draft could really go a lot of different ways. Dragonshire is a map where you can employ a lot of different strategies. I've been seeing a lot of double bruiser lately, single backline double bruiser type comps here on Dragonshire. We'll see if anyone's got that one in the pocket. See if there's any ambushers to come on through, your Zaratools, your Genjis. Those can do some good work here. Of course, your classic solo bottom lane ranged anchors. Your Hanzos, Lunaras, Junkrats, Zagaras can all make an appearance here on Dragonshire. Gonna start things off with the Blaze ban. Blaze, the terror of the Nexus, from now until forever. Here in competitive can get an awful lot done, is basically good at everything you want Blaze to be good at in that off lane. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a Hogger ban in response, just to take away our big 2 off laners. But you gotta worry about globals as well. Dahaka can do some good work. Brightwing, important here on Dragonshire as well. So we're going to open things up with a Johanna ban here from Tricky Gooses. Johanna's been showing up a lot so far this NGS season. A lot in the bans, a lot in the picks. Just a sturdy out front tank. Nothing really going wrong with a Johanna. You don't get to play very aggressive early on, but you get to turn up that aggro once you get to level 10. But until then, just a very safe pick. A Gul'dan ban. Oh. Wimzie's House, how dare you. Banning the best mage in Heroes of the Storm. A shrewd move, to be sure. But I do like seeing me some Gul'dan. There is that Junkrat ban coming on out from Tricky Gooses. Very hard to deal with in that bottom lane. Not a surprising ban. Some key heroes still up. Hogger available, Lucio available, Brightwing is up, Dahaka is up. It is going to be the Dahaka here. Ray Zakin. Go ahead and grab that one. How you doing, Faffin? We're doing some Division A East today. Excited to see these two teams clash. I've casted them plenty in the past. Bringing the noise here. Season 14. See what Tricky Gooses is cooking up for their pre-ban picks here. Anubarak Sylvanas, a classic combo. This is a style that was really popularized, at least in my circles, by 30k Violet. Going with the Anubarak Sylvanas and then favoring the top lane. Using that siege potential to really put the pressure on the solo lane and break up the rotations of the opponents. We'll see if that's how they're going to play it here, or if they've got some other way they want to employ these two. But generally, getting into the side lane and getting walls down is what that pair is really good at. Diablo Brightwing here from Mr. Christie and Irby. Ooh, I like that. Brightwing I find is a really reliable follow-up to the Diablo. You don't have to aim you know, a lunar flare. You don't have to guess whether, you know, you put down the carpet in the right spot if you're Malfurion. Just a point and click. Diablo double stuns, hit him with the polymorph, and you're good to go. Falstad going to be the ban coming out here from Tricky Gooses, trying to limit the global potential. Last showing of Nope. It looks like a really interesting movie, but I'm afraid to see it in theaters because I'm still, like, not great with horror films, but it looks really compelling, so, like, I want to watch it at home with the lights on, not full screen. You know what I mean? We see the Tychus ban coming on out here from Wimzie's house. Tychus can definitely do a number on both Dahaka and Diablo. So a solid ban there. I'd say I'm doing pretty good. I'm in a weird spot at work where there is a large stressful event that we're dealing with, but I have no impact on the outcome, so it's strangely freeing. Like, I don't feel the need to be stressed about it because I can't actually change anything about it. So that's how my week's going. We got Tricky Gooses gonna bring us Greymane and Anduin, so Greymane really doubling down on the siege potential here from Tricky Gooses, and hard to go wrong with an Anduin. Good follow-up for a Nubarak, good saves for potential Diablo pin targets. Wimzie's house. Oh, there's that Zagara. John Bunyan going to show us some Zagara here, and Balthy is on the Vala. Still one of our premier damage dealers, a little bit flimsy, but still pumps out a lot of damage from a very safe position. Tricky Goose is in the last spot here. Needs something for that off lane. Go up against Dahaka. We'll see what Duck is thinking. Hogger's up, Urel's up, Leoric's up. Lots of fun options here for Duck. It is going to be that Hogger in the last pick position. Alrighty. See if there's any switcheroos on those picks. Looks like everyone's happy and healthy, feeling good. Starting off here for game number 1. Interesting clash of styles here. I feel like Zagara could be an X factor if Wimzie's house makes it to the late game. Let's see how they do. Here we go. Game number 1. On the left in the blue, we have Wimzie's house. Irby is on the Bright Wing. Balthy is playing Vala. John Bunyan on the Zagara. Ray Zakin on the Dahaka. And Mr. Christie is playing Diablo. On the right in the red, we have Tricky Gooses. Birdie on the Sylvanas. Nanani is on the... Who are you on? Sylvanas, no. Why can't I tell who you're on, Nanani? Greymane. The Duke is on a Nubarak. Duck is on Hogger. And Lumi is on the Anduin. I did not recognize that skin at all for Greymane. Okay. Visual learned. Looks like avoiding the mid so far is Tricky Gooses. Doing a little bit of scouting. Seeing if they can possibly jump on a wall here. Sylvanas is still in the mid. Wimzie's house just going to go ahead and clear this away. Zagara putting down those vision creep tumors. Setting up down here in the bottom lane. Meanwhile, on the top side, Duck could be in trouble. Mr. Christie going to go ahead and find the pin. There's the polymorph Ray. Looking for a possible drag here. Duck wants a way out, but Hogger is going to go down. And it's actually Wimzie's house that goes hunting first. I was expecting the Sylvanas and Nubarak pair to be the one targeting that top lane. But Wimzie's house strikes first. I don't cast HOTS for a living between stints at the cabin. You know, wouldn't that be grand? I've thought a lot about what it would take, you know, what kind of life it is to be a streamer. Especially while I was at the cabin. You know, you think about stuff, you got a lot of time to think while you're relaxing. And just, like, even, like, forgetting about the money. Forgetting about the insecurity, the, you know, very, very high chance that you're making much, much less than at a standard job. Forgetting all of that. Like, it's a tough life. It's a tough life to live. If you're not on, you're not making money. I thought a lot about it, and, you know, for now, I'm very happy to continue this hobby and continue keeping it as a hobby until something major happens in my life. But you know what? Got a decent enough job, and I get to do this as often as I can. Pretty happy with how that's going. Mr. Christie targeting the Duke here on the side. We see a double stun coming on out, though, on the retreat. Polymorph, not enough to keep the Duke in range. So no extra kills here as we have our bruiser camps clashing on the top side. Got Zagara pushing hard down here in the bottom lane. Duck's gonna have to actually come down here and deal with that. Nubrak thinking about a flank, but there's still a lot of spell armor, not much opportunity to really go in for those picks. Nubrak's gonna give it a try, but nice dodge there from Balthy. A clear, still attempting here. Greymane and Vala kind of jockeying for position, trying to stay away from these lethal tanks, and we'd love to get this clear going. Auto-attack Vala seems popular lately. I've been seeing a lot of auto-attack Vala in solo backline builds. And you'd say, like, it's double backline, they have a Zagara, but Zagara is going to be separate from the team so often that, you know, it's kind of like a solo Vala. But at this point, I feel like Vala builds come down to a lot of preference. Like, they all perform pretty well, and it's, you know, how well you can perform on them, rather than just the numbers that dictate how the builds go at this point for Vala. John Bunyan trying to find a spot there, but Duck not allowing it. See Mr. Christie coming on down here to try to turn the tides. John Bunyan putting the autos onto Duck. Balthy steps up here as the Hogger spin doesn't quite get a good angle, and Hogger is going to go down. Nonetheless, we see the Dragon Knight was picked up here in the mid by Anubarak. Hogger was able to stay on the point for long enough, and it's a pretty early dragon here, so we'll see how far it goes. Dragon Knight mostly going to have to be pretty careful, as the health total is pretty low at this point in the game. Meanwhile, on the top side here, Tricky Goose is just sieging on in with these black arrows. Birdie turning off the towers with Mr. Christie and Razak, and are in for the flank. There's a nice flip and a drag. Greymane gets caught mid-air. Nanani is going to have to be saved by Lumi. Nice job by Anduin getting away and getting in position for that leap of faith. Dragon Knight finally getting the opportunity to step up here as Vala was booted to the mid. Scar going to come on down to try to help this out as the Dragon Knight is about to expire here. So honestly, getting more than I expected. I expected the Dragon to just kind of be caught at the half-point line the entire time. Did get up to the wall. Tricky Goose is going to step up once again here. Black Arrow's off cooldown. Greymane gonna jumps right on here, but Razakin has arrived. Birdie trying to get on out of trouble here. The Drag Tongue will not land on Lumi. See the siege camps have come up again. Vala alone here. Bit of a greedy play, but everyone pretty much visible from Tricky Gooses here on the top lane, so Vala feels pretty safe to be doing that. It's going to get an advantage down there in the bottom lane, trying to get Hogger to have to stay in clear extra. The Duke sees the Haka coming. As Tricky Goose is moving into the mid lane. Both teams pretty close here on the path to level 10. We see Wimzie's house is slightly ahead on that path. They might find an opportunity for a quick fight here on their level 10s, and those 10s are coming on through. No camp invade possibility, as Tricky Gooses did lock that up just in time there. Lightning Breath is the choice here for Diablo. We've got the Devouring Maw, Rain of Vengeance, Isolation, and Blink Heal to round it out there for Wimzie's house. Possible move here onto Ray. Has the movement speed to get away here. Nanani gonna get behind the wall there and get prepared for this bruiser camp that's on the way. 10s are starting to be locked in here for Tricky Gooses. We've got the Cursed Bullet, Light Bomb, Shockwave, Cocoon, and Mind Control. So very much looking for a blow-up style here for Tricky Gooses. They want those fast fights. See Hogger in the top lane just continuing to apply pressure here, wanting to slowly chip down that top fort. Got one siege minion remaining here in the bottom lane. John Bunyan is going to try to clear this from afar, as our next objective is up and running. Nubarak thinking about a flank, but Mr. Christie had the vision there. Bruiser Camp currently being worked on here by Wimzie's house. Going to try to provide a little bit of relief for Dahaka. There is the mind control after the cursed bullet. Diablo in trouble. Great root timing from Lumi. And that is going to be a kill here. Looking for a light bomb onto John Bunyan. Another fantastic timing here from Tricky Gooses. That's going to be a second kill. Diablo is back on souls. Irby in some trouble here as the Duke going straight in. Nice blink heal though. He's going to get Brightwing off to safety. Although this first structure is going to go down here. First damage blood goes over to Tricky Gooses. See Dahaka pushing in the top lane with this wave in this camp. Augur coming across here is going to have to spend some time dealing with that. Drag will not land there onto Greymane. Zvala is currently dealing with the bottom lane pressure. A good chunk of the damage here for Wimzie's house not present in the mid lane. Zvala is starting to break off now, so there could be a pre-13 fight here in the mid. Mr. Christie is looking for something here. Birdie will not get pinned there. A little bit of a shove instead of a pin there from Diablo. Got kind of body blocked at the end of the shadow charge, and Sylvanas got disconnected. Ray finding a quick drag there onto Hogger. The contest is here in the mid. Tricky Gooses looking for a dragon. Brightwing trying to step up in the bottom lane here. 13s are in for both sides. Very, very even so far. 2 kills apiece. They're basically exactly even on experience. Both very much keeping an eye on this dragon capture. Ray looking for a drag, will not get it. Comes Greymane from the mid. Duck here on the edge wants a flank. Brightwing takes back the bottom altar, so there's no threat of a dragon capture just yet. Dahaka still dueling with Hogger there. Solo on the top side. Neither team really pulling the trigger for the engage. They both have all of their ults. But no one wants to jump the gun here. Siege camps are up, so we're going to get those rolling. The macro from both teams has been very, very good. They're taking the camps off cooldown. They're making sure they get cleared. They don't just get insane value in the off lane as they're ignored. Dahaka's looking for a fight here. Does not get the channel. Oh, actually gets the bump back, so the top altar will go over to Wimzie's house. And here now, fight continues. We've got the Lightning Breath. Devouring Maw is going to capture 2. Mind Control lands onto Brightwing. What a catch there. Irby is going to blink away with 9 health and survive. The Brightwing is going to go down in the background to the minion wave, which turned and targeted Brightwing. Greymane falling to the poison damage applied there. 1 for 1 so far. We'll see if the tide is turned here as the siege camps battle it out here in the bottom lane. Augur and Dahaka continue doing their thing on the top side. Extremely even bout continues, though a siege camp is still fairly healthy for the side of Wimzie's house. Sylvanas gonna have to come on down and help clear that away. Mr. Christie looking for a possible pin onto the fort here. But no one's stepping up. It's good positioning here from Tricky Gooses. Mr. Christie was thinking about it. Nanani coming on down to support on the bottom side here for Tricky Gooses as well. Wimzie's house. Just holding this bottom lane. John Bunyan getting a little bit of creep cleared there, but we'll be able to put that back down soon. A little bit of pressure here in the mid. We've got a 16 advantage briefly here for Wimzie's house. Starting to split off, though. Mr. Christie not going to get the engage there. The Duke will not be stunned. Augur grabbing right side camp here. It's going to get that going. A dragon threat here as Dahaka is moving to the mid. Augur is not going to be able to take the top altar back in time. Archer minion won't target the dragon. Mr. Christie, oh no, was going for a pin on the wall. There's the mind control. The light bomb over the top gets the stun, but Brightwing gets the cleanse, and Mr. Christie's gonna walk away. Wow. I was looking like a dead Diablo there, but great saves from Wimzie's house. Gotta drink water in the chat. Don't mind if I do. Thank you, Majesty. Dragon Knight stepping up here, trying to put some damage onto the structure. The Duke is actually kicked away to the left, but there's no fort remaining there. Balthy is going to eat a cursed bullet, trying to walk away here, but the Duke is waiting, and that is Vala to go down. Lightning Breath comes on out here. Birdie warps away, staying healthy. The Duke won't be able to chase onto Mr. Christie here. But one extra kill for Tricky Gooses allows them to push this Dragon Knight back. Meanwhile, on the top side, the Bruiser camp cleared away by Zagara. I know. The cat is talking to me. Jinjin is talking to me. Dragon is going to expire here in the mid. Ray wanted to drag off of the expiration, but grabbed a minion instead. Once again, we're back to the macro. Right side siege going to be started up here by Tricky Gooses. Wimzie's house going for the top Bruiser camp. Just getting the lane pressure out, getting the experience of flowing. This could mean a bottom Bruiser capture here, though, for Tricky Gooses. They were in position, and now we got a possible gank here on the top side. Birdie gets away from Mr. Christie. Augur's possibly being collapsed on here. Has the unstoppable, though. Gets away from Dahaka. Moving around very, very aggressively here is Wimzie's house. They want to find something. But not showing any openings here are Tricky Gooses. Doing a good job of keeping the communication high. Staying safe on the map and not allowing the roaming ganks to come on through. Double camp at the bottom lane being dealt with here by Vala. Some siege camp will alleviate the pressure. Oh, Dahaka is kind of owning here. There is the silence coming on out. Polymorph as well, and Sylvanas is taken down. But Drag Tongue in the isolation grabbed that kill here for Wimzie's house. Augur coming on up. Will try to balance out the engagement. Dahaka looking for more here. There's the Polymorph. Looking for the cooldown on that drag. Shockwave will be interrupted there, and Augur is in a big, big trouble spot. Lumi tried to find the save, but damage was too high. That's another pick here for Wimzie's house, right before this shrine activates. Top structure to fall. Anubarak just trying to deal with this bottom lane pressure. The team of Wimzie's house is going to be storming on down to the bottom lane soon. They've still got some time here, so they're going to try to step up and take another fort here in the mid. They've got the Zagara summons to pull aggro, so they can do this and not lose a lot of health. Mid fort falls. Taking full advantage of those picks here is Wimzie's house, doing a great job of getting that map control back. See bottom altar being claimed by Mr. Christie. No one waiting in the mid for the dragon here. Looks like Dahaka and Vala are on the way. No one from Tricky Gooses in the area to interrupt. This is going to be a 15-minute Dragon Knight barreling down the lanes here for Wimzie's house. Looks like they're going to head on down to the bottom lane here. They want to just open up as much of this map as they can. Going to finish off this fort to have the full fort advantage. They'll still have about a minute left to use the dragon to chip away at the keep wall. See how much they can get done here. Augur showing in the top lane. Looks like Augur's hearthing back to base. So we might get an engage here as we are 20 versus 20. It is possible to dive past this dragon. The Duke is thinking about it, gets the movement speed, but is going to be kicked away by the dragon here. Now Dragon Knight is a little bit caught out. The Duke with the movement speed is going to avoid any follow-up from Wimzie's house. And the dragon is mostly rebuffed. I don't think they were hoping to kick Anubarak in that direction. I think they were hoping to kick Anubarak back into the base so they could get some more chip damage onto this keep. But they kind of got pulled backwards, and now they're not going to get any damage onto the keep at all. So 20 versus 20. Tricky Gooses still has all of their keeps. We could be in for a long one here on Dragonshire unless there's a major fight here. Going in is the Duke, wanting the extra stun onto Dahaka. Root comes on out. Ray trying to get away here. Pops the essence. The rewind stuns are in, but Ray gets healed up. The camp goes over to Tricky Gooses. Dahaka being forced away here. Light Bomb combo on the Polymorph. Mr. Christie's shielding is insane. Diablo survives. Irby not going to be so lucky, though, trading out 1 for 1. Trying to move back here is Wimzie's house, as none on these auto attacks are just splashing on everyone. It's Hogger for Brightwing here. Cooldown spent by both teams, and just continues to be as even as it gets. This is an advantage, though, for Tricky Gooses. They only lost their Hogger, and with Brightwing down, Wimzie's house have a lot less teamfight power here. We're going to see a move down to the bottom lane here. Oh, it's going to be kind of a triple camp, but it's going to be delayed. Balthy going to be able to step up and get most of this cleared away before the Bruiser camp can help push in the bottom lane. You see Wimzie's house grabbing the left side Bruiser here, just trying to get as much counter pressure as possible. Lanes are really pushed up here for Wimzie's house. The catapults are doing work. Mid is pushed all the way to the wall. Top is starting to collapse onto the wall as well. So that's going to have to be dealt with here. No gank potential until those lanes are cleaned up. We're going to go ahead and convert that catapult, using all 3 stacks of that possession. Now some counter Bruiser pressure should buy them some time here in the top lane. The shrines are activating once again. The Duke going way forward here, wanting to get this structure down. Greymane in range, and they're just going to go ahead and pick this up for free. Brightwing ready to global in on the bottom side. Dahaka ready to global in as well. This top lane is starting to push here for Tricky Gooses. And now it's a positioning battle. We see Diablo is in range to see this. There's got to be some checks. The Duke can't just barrel on in there. So Diablo is out front without anyone in the area to follow up, so Mr. Christie is going to have to move on back here. I'd like to see the team in position to follow this up. It looks like they're getting there now. Vol and Zagara are in range. And now a vision battle commences. Mr. Christie's going to blink first and try to step on forward. Anub'arak finds the stun. Double stun comes in. That's 3. That's 4. Mind control comes on. Oh no! They hit the cocoon that denies the light bomb stun. And there's a Hellgate. Mr. Christie is going to escape. Unfortunate timing there on the cocoon. And now trying to turn it around is Wimzie's house. The Duke is able to get away. Or is he going to get away? The polymorph is good, and Balthy catches up for the kill. What a turn of events here for Wimzie's house. The top lane, Bruiser camp is finally killed by that wall. Mid and bottom are pushed in. Big drag coming on through from the bottom lane, and Duck is caught. Duck is down. 5-3. Can we see a push towards core here? Brightwing in the top lane is looking for a fallback dragon. His bottom keep is going to go down. 30 seconds on Anub'arak, 50 seconds on Hogger. Are they just going to walk it to the core? It looks like Brightwing and Dahaka want to bring a dragon here. They've got 2 catapults. It is versus 3. It's a tough call. The dragon is probably the more reliable option. Brightwing going to come on down. They're just going to work on this core shielding, try to get it primed for the Dragon Knight. Dragon is coming on through the mid. Core shielding is starting to fall just a little bit, but Anub'arak has returned. Mr. Christie gets the pin here. Light Bomb onto the Diablo. Curse Bullet comes on out as well. Mr. Christie has the Soul Shield to live on through it. Irby blinks on back, but the Dragon Knight is on the core. We're down to 65%, but it is very low on health here. Anub'arak is chased in and taken down. Sylvanas to fall as well. The Dragon Knight is gone as the Fire Breath is on the core, and we are going to see Wimzie's house close it out and move up 1-0 in the series. GG. Pretty crazy ending there. It was looking like Tricky Gooses found the exact pick they were looking for. They were patient, but an unfortunate counter synergy in the ults turns the tide, and Wimzie's house is going to go up 1-0. Let's see the post-match. See what the stats can tell us here. Ray Zakin on the Dahaka. Top siege, top hero damage, top soak on a 0-death game. Very nicely played on that Dahaka. Over for Tricky Gooses, Nanani on the Grey Mane. 57,000 hero damage. Really nicely played there. It's tough to get a lot of consistent hero damage on Grey Mane, so that number is pretty significant there. Very nicely played by Nanani. Take a quick look at the talents as we close out our prediction. Update the scoreboard. And we'll get ourselves ready for a game number 2. Ourselves ready for a game number 2. All right. Hello and welcome back. We are setting up here for game number 2 in this Division A East matchup between Wimzie's House and Tricky Gooses. A very exciting Dragonshire map number 1. Wimzie's House comes out ahead. See if they can close it out here in game number 2. Heading on over to map select to see that we are going to Cursed Hollow as chosen by Tricky Gooses here for game number 2. The draft is up. Let's jump in. Here we go. We saw some prioritization onto the global heroes in game number 1. All the more important here on Cursed Hollow for game number 2. Another thing you got to think about with Cursed Hollow is boss control. It's a big part of the win condition here on this map. Got to think about who can take the point, who can hold the point, who can knock others off the point. Lots of different ways you can win on Cursed Hollow, but I think in competitive, one of the things that makes Cursed Hollow one of the more volatile maps is how quickly you can win. From a game state that seems fairly close to just going and taking the core. Cursed Hollow is a map, probably more than any other, where it comes down to one big fight. It's tough to get so far ahead that one big fight late doesn't let you just go take the core here on Cursed Hollow. Jin is adorable. Oh, well, thank you, Valera. He is a ball of fluff. He's finally joined me here on a broadcast. All week long, he's not been interested in being the stream cat, but hanging out with me today. Deathwing Band coming on through, and we've got a massive raid coming on through from Bahamut Gaming. What is up, Bahamuts? What's up, crew? Hope you're all doing fantastic. Hope you had a great stream day with Bahamut. I know he brought you the big, famous Gilly Shark at Bingo Night versus Boogans Forever. I hope you had a fun time over there. And here, you're just coming in for game number 2 in Division A East. We've got Wimzie's House taking on Tricky Gooses. And we've got a lot of globals banned away here. Deathwing, Brightwing, Dahaka all gone. Blaze off the board. My goodness. The spam is in. Such excited Bahamuts. Raybear, thank you very much for the follow. As we see John Bunyan locking in the Junkrat. First pick here for Wimzie's House. All good, Deathlooper. Honestly, the Twitch raid function it works like 15% of the time. It's rough. It's rough. Birdie gonna lock in the Falstad, so grabbing one of the last remaining globals here for the side of Tricky Gooses, and the Duke is gonna grab that Johanna that got banned away in game number 1. But I hope you all are doing great. I hope you're doing fantastic, and I hope you're ready for at least one more game of Heroes of the Storm tonight, if not 2. Mr. Christie going to reprise the role here on the Diablo, and Irby is going to show us some Rhaegar. Rhaegar does have quite the place here on Cursed Hollow because the camp timing is so important, and Rhaegar can also be left to side lane just a little bit. So I like that pickup here from Wimzie's House. Tricky Goose is considering their ban here. We've got a solid trio, solid battery here from Wimzie's House. Gonna take that Sylvanas away. No black arrows to turn off the structures in this one. Wimzie's House, they're looking at Falstad, they're looking at Johanna, both pretty decent at the boss control aspect. I'd like to see a Hogger ban here. We'll see what they're thinking. They might want to take away that Tychus again, and they will. Mr. Christie just does not want to see the big blue machine over on the other side. A new desk. New desks are great. Gotta love a new desk. Lumi's gonna show some Anduin here. We got that Anduin Johanna power couple energy. Here for Tricky Gooses. Let's see what the thoughts are on the next pick. Nanani is gonna go for the Greymane once again here. Pretty similar strengths on this map compared to Dragonshire. Just chews through those camps easily. Gets onto structures and knocks them down quickly. Both teams seem to be pretty heavy on the siege department. We'll see how Wimzie's house wants to round out here. They don't have access to that Sylvanas. Sonya, another big sieger, and Hogger. So we've got the double bruiser here on the side of Wimzie's house with the solo Junkrat. This is a very strong style here on Cursed Hollow. Tuna Breath, Jay Tizzle, welcome, welcome. Mac is here as well. You're all having a fantastic time. Duck in the last pick position. Need one hero to deal with two bruisers, and it's going to be a Ragnaros here for Duck. Classic anti-siege hero. Definitely a clash of styles here. I'm interested to see how this is going to turn out. I feel like... Oof, it's kind of a cooldown battle on the bosses. I'm really excited to see how this goes. We're loading on up here for Cursed Hollow. Let's get into game number 2. On the left in the blue, it is Wimzie's house. John Bunyan is on the Junkrat, Balthy on the Hogger. Irby is playing Rhaegar, Mr. Christie on the Diablo. We've got Ray Zakin on the Sonya. On the right in the red, we have Tricky Gooses. Nanani is on the Greymane. Lumi is playing Anduin. Duck on the Ragnaros. Birdie on the Falstad. And the Duke on the Johanna. Oh, we got a dad joke. A horse walks into a bar, and the bartender says, "I think you're an alcoholic." The horse says, "I think, therefore I am." And then promptly vanishes from the bar stool. My apologies, I used the punchline too early. I guess I put Descartes before the horse. Valera, how dare you. A most excellent dad joke. Good job. Good old philosophy jokes. Dads love philosophy, especially if it has to do with beer. Free beer tomorrow. That's a solid philosophical sign. You got to think about that one. Free beer tomorrow on a physical sign. Really makes you think. Falstad and Sonya going to be battling it out here in the top lane. We see Hogger has moved on down to the bot side. Currently rotating as a group here is Tricky Gooses. Camps are up. Looks like Greymane is going to go ahead and start on this bruiser camp. Anduin going to provide a little bit of healing. If Greymane does the wiggling just right, he can solo it and be a little bit low on health at the end, but with an Anduin there, it's just a lot less stressful. Just a lot less stressful. We see Rhaegar doing the siege camp here on the side. You'll notice these teams are both doing their top side camps first because we have a top side curse coming out to start. I'll be timing out their bottom camps a little bit closer, or just a little bit closer to when the objective comes out. You see an early cap here for the side of Tricky Gooses. Hogger is going to try to get this bruiser camp going in the mid. It is a little bit of an advantage to get this camp out second if you can clear away the enemy's camp easily enough. Because if you can clear their camp and then have your camp pushing, now you've got the timing with the objective. It looks like Ray Zakin and Irby are doing a good job of clearing this out so far. We got a top lane push here. Rag and Greymane are going to get a lot done here in the top lane. They got a full minion wave. They're going to get this bottom tower and possibly more. But eventually they're going to have to respond here in the mid. We've got a very healthy bruiser camp for Wimzie's house. That's going to be timing out quite well with the objective. See, those two are starting to set up in the area, starting to rotate down, but Mr. Christie controls this vision. Nice scout there from Duck, but guarded from going into the mid here. The Duke and Lumi doing their best to clear this away, and finally Greymane and Ragnaros able to come on down. So some decent damage on the top side. We got some damage to this mid wall. Honestly, a pretty good start here. Our two teams. Mr. Christie is going to be scouted there as Greymane gets flipped and rooted. Follow-up route from Lumi is good, though, and there's the leap of faith for the save. Hogger, Hogger not getting a great bounce, but rides it out, and Balthy will escape. Duck looking for maybe a last hit here. Hogger is going to move away. Meanwhile, on the top side, Irby looking for a channel here. Nanani not going to let it happen, though. Razak and chasing down Greymane. Sonya, with that movement speed pressure, is doing some good work here. Duck on the side, approaching from a tough angle. Ragnaros is going to go down. First blood over to Wimzie's house. All the while, Falstad remaining in the bottom lane here. Irby is going to go ahead and grab this channel. So far, Wimzie's house, they've got to deal with Birdie. Birdie has taken the entire bottom wall. As the scuffle in the top lane is going to continue. Hogger is going to go down there to try to deal with it. Both teams doing a great job of just getting value wherever they can here on this map. Tricky Gooses a little bit locked in here on the top side. Lumi's just going to Hearthon back. Rag's clearing out the mid. Mr. Christie wants it. The rest of the team isn't here, though, so Duck is going to be able to just walk it on back. Another topside curse is coming on through next. It is in a good position here for Tricky Gooses. Diablo all the way down to the bottom lane, wants a pin onto Birdie, but Birdie took that long barrel roll on level 4, so he's just going to be able to sail behind the wall. Looks like Wimzie's house just not even going to bother trying to contest on this position. They'll go to 1-1 on the curse points, instead opting for keeping an eye on the map, keeping that control going. Top lane experience is going to be gathered here by Sonya. No big deal. These camps are once again being pumped out. Siege camps taken on both sides here. Duck will not get pinned. Mr. Christie pretty close on these shadow charges. They can't quite get him. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, John Bunyan will be got there. Falstad barrel rolls on in and finds that kill with the help of the Duke. Tribute is spawning here on the bottom side. Mr. Christie in the mix here is going to be pulled, rooted. This could be trouble for Diablo. Doesn't quite have the health to get through that engage. Only 52 souls so far. So that is a full Diablo death. But this tribute spawning, this could be a quick one that goes over to Tricky Gooses. Siege camp has to be dealt with here by Balthy and Irby. Tribute is spawning on in. We'll see if Junkrat has any interrupts here. Sonya would have to spear all the way in. It looks like Junkrat does have some interrupts going. Tens have arrived for both teams. Tricky Gooses have the Cursed Bullet, Lava Wave, Mighty Gust, Blessed Shield, and Light Bomb. For Wimzie's house, we've got the Ancestral Healing, Riptire, Leap, Shockwave, and Lightning Breath. Mr. Christie does find a stun here. Balthy's going to have to come around. Lightning Breath comes on out. Diablo taking a ton of damage from the Cursed Bullet, though. Just trying to breathe on through it. Lumi Light Bomb is going to find a stun onto 3. Can Tricky Gooses convert a kill? Razak goes on in, tries to heal up, but Sonya goes down. Duck in the mix, but Lumi going to pull him right back out. Nice kill there from Tricky Gooses, and they don't need the trade. They live to tell the tale. All the while, though, John Bunyan able to get back and go up 2-1 here. Wimzie's house primed for a curse on the next objective. Cruiser camp here on both sides really being taken once again. Bosses are up. No one's really made a move towards it just yet. But first to make a move looks like it's going to be Tricky Gooses. Jumping straight onto the top boss. Bottom boss is going to be started here as well, so it's going to be a simple trade. The bottom boss should get more value as the next curse is on the top side. However, actually, yeah, Tricky Gooses is going to have to deal with that. So we'll see if Wimzie's house can delay this capture. If they can just stall out the fight and force the boss to continue here, Duck is going to be caught here in the mid, bumped back by the concussion mine. Duck is going to have nowhere to go here. Walking into tower range, Rag is going to go down. The Duke is looking for a quick cap, but Mr. Christie not going to allow it. Big gust comes on out from Falstad. Despite having level 13, down 4-5, they can't really take a fight, and this is going to be a curse here for Wimzie's house. Boss marching on down the bottom lane will be high health, though Falstad in the area to help with that. Top boss going to be cleared away by the wall here, not too much trouble for John Bunyan. And mid lane is going to be the focus for Wimzie's house. Rezakin going in deep. That unstoppable shield from Johanna denies all the damage. Bottom boss is taken here. Duck is going to become a structure and try to push back the members of Wimzie's house. Sonya just trying to get out of range here. Big swipe, another stun onto 2. Follow-up light bomb, and the Blessed Shield lands. That's a stun onto 2. Irby gets the quick heal. Diablo still goes down, though. Balthy with the Unstoppable is going to get the bounce on the escape. Great turnaround there from Tricky Gooses is going to halt the advancements of Wimzie's house and have this curse expire. So still even on structures. Top wave is going to have to be dealt with here, though. Sonya might just take down this whole fort. It's like the Duke's on the way here. Ray not going to go for anything that brash. Once again, camps completely on time from both of these teams. Very much focused on the macro so far this series. Balthy coming across is just going to go ahead and say, this is my vision now. Ain't nothing you can do about it, punk. Ain't nothing you gonna do, punk. Just controlling this bottom side. Not a whole lot the Tricky Gooses can do, as the vision does cover any movement here. Ragnarok's gonna free up some bottom lane pressure here for Birdie. Let this camp march on forward. Wimzie's house. Not so worried about the next curse, only 1 point so far over to the side of Tricky Gooses. So we see Balthy just intercepting this camp here on the bottom side. 16s have arrived for Tricky Gooses. This could be an opportunity for them to go and pick a fight. Though the bosses aren't up particularly soon, so it's not much for them to pick a fight over. The Duke waiting here on the bottom side. I'd love to see them get a lot more aggressive here. They've got a 2-level lead. They've got a talent advantage. I want to see them just surge into areas on the map and try to find these fights. They're going to move up to the top side here. Rezak and Irby in the area. Duck is going to get caught there. This could be a fight that they want. Leap into the back here from Sonya along with the lightning breath. Birdie going to find the quick stun, and that is Sonya to fall, but Ragnarok's caught as well. Blessed Shield comes on out. Johanna wants this fight to continue. Gust into the corner. Irby is slowed down here, and that is going to be another kill here for Tricky Gooses. Falstad takes a lot of damage. Lumi with the safety pull. 2 for 1 here for Tricky Gooses. As our next tribute is spawning in the bottom lane. Last Malk here, hope you're doing well. Welcome, welcome. Gonna be a simple bruiser camp coming on out from Tricky Gooses. Get that rolling. See if they're gonna prioritize this objective here. Looks like 2 are coming on down, or Lumi's coming on down to grab that channel. Boss is up in about 45 seconds. Ragnarok's keeping that bottom lane pushed out. Mid's going to have to be dealt with by Wimzie's house. Falstad ready to join the team here in the mid. Cruiser camp being worked on here by Wimzie's house, just trying to create a little bit of parity. Mr. Christie stepping on out here, looking for a possible engage. They got their 16s now as leap over the top onto 3. Huge combo. The Gust is going to interrupt the light bomb, though. And now the Blessed Shield stuns out Hogger, and a nice counter kill by Tricky Gooses. Really nice job in denying the pretty well-engaged plan of Wimzie's house. Nearly had a bunch of kills there, but the Gust to interrupt and the follow-up from Johanna Another player advantage for Tricky Gooses, and they're going to be thinking about a boss here on the top side. See Mr. Christie trying to start up this bottom boss. They should have plenty of damage. But Sonya's on the top side here. Rhaegar's not here yet. But it looks like the damage is going fast enough that Tricky Gooses couldn't come on down and get both. Boss is going to be pushing the top lane. They've got a tribute up there as well. The Duke is coming across. Johanna has got here fairly quick. There's the root as well. Johanna trying to get in range. The damage is just not fast enough, and Johanna has arrived. The boss goes over to Tricky Gooses. Blessed Shield is in. They're looking for all the kills. Pushed into the pit here. Rhaegar goes down. Light Bomb onto Duck. Mr. Christie gonna fall. Balthy has already used the ult. Trying to spin out. Hogger goes down. It's a double kill here for Tricky Gooses. They've got a double boss. Sonya denies the curse at the same time, but this is going to be keeps and possibly more. Top boss still very healthy. Bottom boss pushing on in. We've got a lava wave mid. I guess, you know, might as well go mid. Either other lane isn't going to do a whole lot. But top keep likely to fall to the boss here. Bottom keep goes down to the team. There's still 9 seconds on Rhaegar, and Tricky Gooses is going for the core. They've got an over half health boss. Auger's still not up for 10 seconds. They're going to give it a go. Core shielding is gone. Riptire comes on out to try to get some value here. Boss is on the core, though, still at half health. Ragnaros shelling away with those long-range abilities, down to 30%. There's the leap coming out from Razak, and Birdie comes on in. It's too much for Wimzie's house. Tricky Goose is going to take game number 2, and we've got ourselves a game 3 coming up. Really nicely played. Tricky Gooses covering the map there, dealing with that double bruiser comp. Just doing a great job of being everywhere at once. They take game number 2. Nicely played on Cursed Hollow. Let's check out the post-match stats. See what the stats can tell us here. John Bunyan on the Junkrat. Top hero damage there for Wimzie's house, 31,500. Slightly edged out by Nanani on the Greymane with 32,000 there for Tricky Gooses. 3 deaths that game, all on Ragnaros. Unfortunate. But that is kind of the Ragnaros life. Rag is very vulnerable to being ganked, but has a pretty powerful kit as compensation. Take a quick look at the talents here as we close out our prediction. Got a Tricky Gooses victory. Update the scoreboard and we'll get ourselves ready for a game number 3. Faffin coming in with the 100 bits. Goon did indeed give you a sub yesterday. Thank you so much for the support. I think we've had 2 massive underdog victories on the channel points so far today. People out here winning big. Winning big indeed. All right, welcome back. We are getting all set here for game number 3. Wimzie's house 1, Tricky Gooses 1. It all comes down to our map number 3. That map number 3 is going to be Towers of Doom. A perfect map number 3, as chosen here by Wimzie's house. Excited to see what it's going to be. These two teams have been very, very evenly matched all series long. This is going to be an epic, epic conclusion. I thought we were going to get the readies. We got one ready. We got caster ready. And we got one team that says we need 2 minutes. Such is the way when you go to a game number 3. We'll bring it back to me. No cats in draft. Not allowed. Papa Patience with a dad joke. Goodness gracious. Why do fathers take an extra pair of socks when they go golfing? In case they get a hole in one. Bruh. Bruh. Well done, Papa Patience. Alrighty, draft is underway here. Tricky Gooses will have first pick for the first time in this series, and we are going to see an Anduin ban to start things off. Not one that we see high on the ban board, but Anduin has been quite the nuisance so far this match. As Falstad next to be banned. There goes Brightwing. A lot of global contention between these two teams. A lot of global contention. See if it's going to be a Dahaka ban here, or if they want to possibly trade out the Dahaka for something else. All your teammates quit. That's okay. You can watch, you can enjoy. That's all I do these days anyway. Blaze will be the ban from Wimzie's house. So sad the exercises are gone. I've been thinking about what to do for a replacement. Haven't thought of anything good just yet. But I do want to add more stuff to do with the bananas. The Duke. I bring us some Johanna once again here for Tricky Gooses. There's that Dahaka. Razak going to go ahead and grab that, and Balthy snaps up the Sylvanas. Very contested thus far this series. Tricky Gooses not going to have an Anduin to put with that Johanna. So we'll see what they want to take alongside. It's going to be a Rhaegar. It's going to be an Uther. Birdie goes for the Junkrat here. It's a Stukov. Ah, yes. Stukov, the Mangler of Souls. The Silencer of all. Coming on through from Lumi. I do like a Johanna Stukov combo. I feel like it's pretty dirty. See if Wimzie's house can deal with that setup here. Thinking about their mid ban. Gotta watch out for the slows. You gotta watch out for the roots. Another dad joke. This time Deathloop. Siri got mad at me today. She kept saying, "Don't call me Shirley." I left my phone in airplane mode. I feel like that's... I know there's a movie called Airplane or something like that. I know the "Don't Call Me Shirley" joke. Surely you're correct. I am correct. Don't call me Shirley. That's an old joke. Artemis Chloe, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the channel. Appreciate your support. Enjoy some follower emotes. We've got a couple. Tychus and Diablo banned away, so Mr. Christie gonna have to dig into the tank pool here for game number 3. Stitches and Lucio gonna be the choices here for Mr. Christie and Irby. Gotta watch out for that Stitches. Stitches is the one tank that can really just turn around the game in a snap of a finger. No matter what the game state is, Stitches can always find something. Save it up for the Drinkwater streamer. Very nice, very nice. Leoric Greymane. So Nanani just bringing the Greymane once again here. Duck gonna do some Leoric business versus the Dahaka. Some good blow-up potential here from Tricky Gooses. We'll see what John Bunyan's thinking. I'd like to see some CC and follow-up to the Stitches. Right now, there isn't much besides, like, Dahaka, but Dahaka's not going to be there all the time on these hooks. What are we thinking for John Bunyan? Going to be a Chromie. Okay, you got a little bit of slows there. You got some targeted long-range follow-up. This could work here for Wimzie's house. These have been some entertaining games for sure. I'll think of something, Faffin. I wasn't thrilled with what I had already, so I wanna revamp the options. I'd like to get something automatic, honestly. Sound effects, things on screen, stuff like that. Here we go. Game number 3 on the left in the blue. Once again, it is Wimzie's house. Rayzakin on the Dahaka. Balthy is playing Sylvanas. John Bunyan on the Chromie. Irby is playing Lucio, and Mr. Christie is on the Stitches. On the right in the red, we've got the Tricky Gooses, Duck on Leoric, the Duke on Johanna, Nanani on the Greymane, Birdie on the Junkrat, and Lumi is on the Stukov. Artemis Chloe with the Drink Water Streamer. All right. Oh, there we go. That was the last of my water. Sacre bleu. Another dad joke. Valera says, what do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. A classic. A classic Valera. Nicely done. Kirby going to be bumped over to the right there. Take a little bit of damage from Junkrat, but the mid clear has gone through. So the control of the mid will go over to Wimzie's house here. Long rotation from Tricky Gooses. Game 3 Towers is your favorite. It is a excellent Game 3 map. Probably just going ahead and scouting here. Got that Dragon Vision on level 1. It's looking like Wimzie's house slightly ahead on the rotations here. Going to help out Dahaka in the mid. Try to get Leoric behind here, but our camps have spawned on in. Both teams getting on that pretty quick. That has been a hallmark of this series. These camps are never late for either team. Lucio going to get caught in the brush there. This team on the side of Tricky Gooses until level 10 is not really threatening to Lucio. Until Johanna can just snap a Blessed Shield, Lucio isn't too worried. We'll see what the clear is like here on the bottom side. Sappers are going to meet. Sylvanas helping out the Haka once again with that wave clear, so Nanani going to have to catch that. Small advantage here. We see Mr. Christie waiting on the edge, wants a hook there onto Birdie, didn't quite land it. Freya wants the drink water. I just ran out of water, though. I just ran out of water. I'll get some after this stream. Or I'll get some after the game. We'll do a quick water run. The Duke taking a lot of damage here in the bottom lane. Gets that Iron Skin cooldown up at the last possible moment. Kirby taking some hits there. Nanani getting some good autos after the concussion mine knocked Lucio into lane. OBS is a constant challenge because you have ideas on top of ideas and you don't like delete them all properly, and then you end up with all this stuff that you don't use but it's still there. It's a lot of work. But eventually you get something cool. Raka coming in with the host. Raka was casting some NGS earlier. Welcome to game number 3. This Division A East matchup. Wimzie's house versus Tricky Gooses. Hope you had a good time over there. It's all come down to this. Triple altar phase is ready. Leoric's got the top right going. Dahaka's going to get the top left going. And we're going to have our traditional battle over the bottom altar here. We'll see who pulls the trigger on the engage first. Leoric heading straight up to the top lane here. Dahaka clear in the mid for now. Mr. Christie doing a good job of guarding those grenades. Oh, but lets one through. Still, the Duke had the channel interrupt there with the blessed, not the blessed shield, the blinding light. This is what Tricky Goose's comp is going to be good at. Denying channels from afar. Dahaka headed up to the top lane. Got a time stop here on the low side. Kirby taking some hits there. Hook is going to hit the Iron Skin as the trading continues. I think it's going to take a visit from Leo or Dahaka to settle this, and here comes Duck. Duck going to try to get this going. Nice silence placement, and that is Sylvanas to go down. The Duke. Ooh, almost hooked there. Mr. Christie not quite getting the interrupt. But the 2-for-1 does go over to Tricky Gooses. Very nicely done. Good communication on the interrupts. They didn't have too much layering of abilities there. Looks like a move on to mid is the choice here. Rayzakin gonna get gathered up. Lumi looking for a lurking arm possibility. Dahaka is gonna get away there. So the camps will trade out. Tricky Gooses with a little bit of a push advantage here in the bottom lane. A little bit of an XP advantage from that kill. But overall, nothing too aggressive going on so far. Just playing the map. Just playing the map. You're gonna see Tricky Gooses get an advantage. Balthy knocked over with the concussion mine. Goes over, but into the lurking arm, and that is Sylvanas to fall. The Duke going in there to try to interrupt John Bunyan, but that's Irby pushing the Duke back. Johanna taking a lot of damage on the way out there. Boss is up on the map. You heard the laughing of old Pumpkin Face there. Level 10 is pretty close here, though, for Tricky Gooses. It could line up well with this altar. Single spawn in the bottom lane. We'll see what map state is like. We'll see if level 10 can be achieved here by Wimzie's house in time. Right now, they're staying here in the bottom lane. They're letting Dahaka do all the soak. I would love to see someone just move into the mid, let Dahaka stay top, and just get a quick clear on all 3 lanes and try to get level 10, because level 10 is now here. For Tricky Gooses, they've got the Riptire, Entomb, Cursed Bullet, Massage Shove, and Blessed Shield. Birdie gonna go for a quick channel attempt here. Mr. Christie gets the hook interrupt. Ray wants the drag, but will not get it. Johanna taking some damage on the low side, is forced to use that Iron Skin. As Ray takes a huge amount of damage, is going to be entombed here on the side. Riptire comes on out, and Dahaka in big trouble. Blessed Shield lands, but it's going to be a trade here. Johanna goes down to the pressure from Balthy. Stitches to fall next as the loop lands onto Nanani. Mind control onto Duck as Leo taking some big damage there from the Banshee Queen. Nice shot there from John Bunyan. Going to be a 2-for-2 trade. 3 members left on both sides here. Channel did go over to Tricky Gooses during all of that. The 10s were achieved there by Wimzie's house. We've got the Gorge, Sound Barrier, Time Loop, Temporal Loop. I always call it Time Loop. Isolation, and Mind Control. Little hook attempt there from Mr. Christie. Not going to get anything on that rotation. Looking for like a camp invade here. The Duke wanting to come across. But Junkrat heading to the mid. Leoric heading to the top. No invade will be had here. That is the way things have been going. There hasn't been a lot of, teams aren't taking the opportunity for quick skirmishes. They're getting the map done, absolutely. They're getting their chores done. And then fighting at the appropriate times rather than trying to really catch each other off guard here. Pretty even on XP, still a very slight advantage here for Tricky Gooses. Looks like a possible move here onto the mid. Mr. Christie coming on up. Duck is in the minion wave. Comes across, gets the unstoppable, and moves away. Single bottom lane altar to come on through next. Chromie scouts out the gank attempt in the mid. Dahaka dealing with the top lane, Leo dealing with the mid lane. We'll see if one of those prescribed fights breaks out here on the bottom side. Leo is in a position to come on down and help this out. Big hook onto Birdie. Junkrat's going to be taken away, but the Duke says no. The Duke slows him down, and Junkrat is going to try to be saved here. Birdie walks away. Big Entomb is going to trap one into the corner. Mr. Christie with nowhere to go, and that is Stitches going down. Great reaction time there by the Duke to prevent Stitches from rolling on out. Dahaka trying to get in range for an interrupt, but was rooted, and Tricky Gooses grabs yet another altar, up 36-24 on core health. Currently up 5 kills to 2 here. Leo gonna grab this mid soak. Dahaka taking a little bit of damage there as Nanani stepping on up. Duck does not have an Entomb. Back in wave clear mode. Nanani is going to step up here looking for the kill. Goes underground, but hardly any essence to be found here. Is the... Oh my goodness, is it enough? Nanani on the chase, trying to get the jump in. Dahaka's got the speed, 70 health, but is in tower range. Oh, gets away. Unbelievable. Ray Zakin. Too swift, too invisible. Big dino plays from Dahaka. Hook comes out. Birdie is taken. Mr. Christie puts him in the belly, gonna try to walk him on back, but it's another big engage from the Duke. Birdie moves away, but is gonna get put into the temporal loop, and that is Junkrat to go down. Ray Zakin finds another drag here onto Lumi. Big pushback. There is another pushback. Wow. This Dahaka play has been amazing here from Ray. A second kill for Wimzie's house. Mr. Christie, oh my goodness, finds the Duke. Unstoppable is already popped, and that's going to be a third kill for Wimzie's house. Extra sensory kills from Mr. Christie, and that is going to be bottom structure pressured here by Wimzie's house. I don't know if there was vision granted there by Chromie. I think that was just a blind hook. Saw Johanna went back there, timed it out, threw the hook, and that is an extra kill. Unbelievable work there from Wimzie's house. Braymane trying to deal with the top camp, get some kind of pressure going here for Tricky Gooses. Dahaka making life difficult here for Leoric. There's a channel on the bottom side. Wimzie's house trying to strike back on core health. Dahaka is taken down in the mid, Lumi helping out with that kill. Tricky Gooses finding... Uh-oh. Junkrat has been found here. Mr. Christie being boosted away. Can Birdie get out? No, Birdie will fall. So a pick for a pick here. 3 shots onto the core. 32-21. So that double alter phase does cease. Mr. Christie trying to come across here. Silent Zone comes on out. Camp is going to go over. That Silence is doing serious work. Stitches goes down. And that is the power of the Stukov when you've got slows on side. That's where that Johanna does serious work here. Johanna, not even done with a subdue, is just hitting 2 targets with the punish. Getting that huge slow. Is that 80%? Hit 2 targets, get 80% slow. That is just so hard to deal with when you've got that Stukov button. Map has been evened up here. Tricky Gooses, a very timely comeback kill. See what they can do with this opportunity. Both teams about to have their level 17. The offlane duel continues on through. Chromie doing a good job of scouting out the members of Tricky Gooses. As our triple altar phase is coming on up next. No picks to be had here. Mr. Christie tries it. Johanna gets away. Speedy Boy Dahaka continues to be a terror in the offlane. Yo trying to keep up here. Dahaka is starting to come on down here. We might have a full-blown fight. Stitch is looking for something over the wall here. Dahaka breaks away. Hook comes on out. Not going to land that time. But it's looking like Tricky Gooses is not going to be in range here. Birdie's going to be knocked back. John Bunyan has the channel. Johanna can't get the earner up, so that's going to be a double channel here. 2-1 for Wimzie's house. Starting to even up on core health. 24-17, still an advantage for Tricky Gooses. Hook comes out, not going to land there onto Duck. Leo gets away. And as promised by the rest of this series, we have a tight one here on Towers of Doom. Still high on core health, both teams at 18. And the hooks become ever more potent here from Mr. Christie. Zakin coming on down here. The Duke might rip something here. Dahaka thinking about moving back. But here comes the cavalry. Leo pushing the top side. Right side camp. Being scouted here. The Duke finds the ward. Stitches ever present. One thing that Tricky Goose has been doing a pretty good job with, though, is whenever the hook goes out, they just engage. If the hook ever lands, they just go in. Which is honestly a pretty good way to beat a Stitches, if possible. The Tomb comes out, Silence comes out as well. Dahaka nowhere to go. Dahaka is down. Irby in trouble here, is going to be time stopped. Irby with the armor is trying to scoot on out of there, pushes off here. Lumi Oh, wanted the massive shove, but didn't get it. Lucio gets away. Time loop comes on out, but it will be denied by Leoric. It's actually a double time loop. Leo coming on back here. Mind control onto the Duke. Double slow on 80%. Johanna taken down by the trailing Dragon Breath. 1 for 1 here as we have a double alter phase. Mr. Christie is going to abscond with Leoric here. Duck put in tower range. Tries to get on back. Taking a little bit of damage. Leo goes down. Lucio was able to grab top left here for Wimzie's house. Top right is going to go over to Birdie. 2 for 1 there for Wimzie's house. Tahaka's about to be back. Johanna and Leo still down for a significant amount of time. As the barn burner continues here. See if any structure can be taken. We've got a sapper camp claimed in the bottom lane. Still 15 seconds of a 5 versus 3 advantage. They're not really stepping up here like I thought they would. Junkrat's going to just create some pressure here on the top side. Tahaka in range to help out Mr. Christie. Wanting a possible hook. Duck is going to show here on the bottom lane. They're just waiting. Waiting for their prey to come on out of the base. Hook comes out, not going to land onto Leo. Silence and Tomb comes out onto Sylvanas, trying to move on out. There's the sound barrier. Sylvanas with enough health to get away. Blessed Shield not going to hit the Banshee Queen as the Unstoppable was popped. Stitch is unstoppable, trying to walk it on back here. Mr. Christie with the speed boost, not going to be enough. Stitches goes down. Tricky Gooses find the kill onto a very important target here, and we'll see what they can do with this advantage. Can they take a structure? Can they move into range? Double altar phase is coming on up next. 2 channels and a boss is 1 short of a victory. It's not enough. They're going to need more. They're going to focus on this sapper camp first. If they can get a structure down, then 2 channels and a boss would be a victory. They've still got 30 seconds to work without stitches. But it looks like they're not going to pressure the building. They're just going to look for the channel here on the bottom side. Stukov going to grab this, no problem. Greymane going to grab this one as well. Core health will go down to 5 here. Sapper's turned off by Balthy. Wave mostly eliminated, entirely eliminated by Chromie and Sylvanas. Razakin wants an engage. He's going to give Blessed Shield comes on out. Silence Zone onto Dahaka. Silence and Tomb comes out as well. Is there enough damage to take down this Dahaka? There is. Great ult coordination once again here from Tricky Gooses. Another timely pick, but now Stitches is back. There's the slow. The Duke wants to find this. Mr. Christie starting to walk away here. Has the speed, has the unstoppable. Fadeaway hook is good. And this is going to be Johanna taken away here. Johanna does not have any kind of falling sword. Is going to be looped there. Mind control comes on out. Is going to find another target. There's Johanna going down. Nunani. He's going to be hooked back into range here. Greymane diving onto Irby, trying to trade. Sound barrier will be the saving grace, though. Counter double kill for Wimzie's house, and this is just as back and forth as it gets here on Towers of Doom. Right now, I like this. I think I like this play from this spot. Take the boss off the board, take the potential shots away from Tricky Gooses. You don't want to leave yourself in a position where there's multiple ways the opponent can win the game. I'm just going to take this off the map. They won't have to worry about it for 5 minutes. They've got an opportunity for a double capture here. It's not going to be as many shots as you were hoping, but we're going to get things pretty even here. Mr. Christie thinking about a hook here. Almost hit Lumi. Oh, that was close. Birdie trying to get those grenades in range. Irby is going to be interrupted. Silence Zone from Stukov is going to force John Bunyan to move on back here. Ray wants to find a drag into the back line. Will be massive shove there by Lumi. Channel does complete. The Entomb misses though. Ray still alive in the back, but the Silence Zone has trapped Stitches. Trying to move on away here. Leoric the first to go down. Dahaka is running out of options. Will fall. Chromie trying to put out that damage as the Silence goes out from Stukov. Lumi in big trouble, gets the shove. Balthy is going in to try to clean him up. Double warps away, but warps into tower range. That's Sylvanas to go down. 2 for 2 so far. Another super even fight, ends up 2 for 2, but this is going to be 2 for 2 on the channels here for Wimzie's house to go 5 to 8 on core health. Oh my goodness. This just keeps on being so close. Birdie is going to be taken again here. Johanna going to try to slow him down. Can Birdie get away? No damage in range. Mr. Christie might have bitten off more than they can chew here. Irby tries to get the save. So much damage, and Stitches is down. Now Duck is being targeted here by John Bunyan. Extra CDR comes on out, but Leoric will survive. Extra kills here for Tricky Gooses. Stukov's about to be back. Sylvanas is about to be back, but Stitches is down for 40 seconds. Tricky Goose is going to try to take themselves another camp here. The first camp has smote itself upon the structure, so there's no chance for a 6-sapper victory here. It is a solo bottom lane altar next. Right now, just this channel will win them the game. They don't need any of these sappers to get across the line if the towers stay the way they are. One is going to get across the line, so that's providing extra insurance. There's a second one. Wow, the combo is real. Sylvanas goes down, and Tricky Gooses look like they're in a great position to win this game. 2 core health remain here for Wimzie's house. It's a solo bottom lane altar. With Sylvanas down, it's going to take a huge last-ditch effort here from Wimzie's house. John Bunyan and Mr. Christie looking for a big flank. Irby's here on the edge. There's the time loop coming on out, but the Duke is going to interrupt the combo. Chromie is low. On the bottom side here, Dahaka interrupts Nanani, and the fight is going to be continuing here. Irby in trouble. Gathered up and removed. That's Lucio to fall. Ray has the drag. Chromie goes down on the top side. Lumi is going to grab the channel here. Ray trying to get in range. GG has been called. That is going to be the channel. And the game and the series and the reverse sweep go to Tricky Gooses. GG. Very, very nicely done there. Tricky Gooses. It was so close the whole way through. Stitches was doing Stitches things. What a fantastic game, number 3. Artemis Chloe with the 5 tier 1s. Thank you so much for the gifts. Plur Ninja, Spectrum, Autumn the Raven, AJG, and Maestro Cass. Another fine group of viewers and individuals grabbing a gift sub. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it greatly. Let's go to the post-match here. See what our final stat line looks like. John Bunyan on the Chromies. Over 73,000 hero damage there coming out. Very nicely played on the Sand Mage. The best mage in the game. Birdie on the Junkrat. 71,000 there on the Maniac Grenadier. Showing why Junkrat is so highly prioritized. We'll take a quick look at the talent screen as we close out our prediction. Oh, I didn't start one. Oopsies. Sorry about that. We'll update the scoreboard. And we'll see if we can find ourselves an interview here. Lieutenant Dan 67, thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're having a good time here. I am going to go quickly refill my water before we look for this interview. Back in a moment. All right. Hello, Birdie and Duke.
Hey.
Congratulations on today's victory, a reverse sweep.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So a lot of pressure they put us on, but yeah, feels good.
But yeah, tell me about how that series goes. Like the loss goes through on map number 1, but still a very very close map. Did you feel at that point you're like, okay, you know, we felt like we could have done a couple things differently, or that just sort of how it goes. Do the same thing in game number 2. Do you feel like there were any big adjustments you had to make?
Yeah, we made one big adjustment. We changed our comms strategy a little bit between 1 and 2, and I think we had more cohesive comms after the first game.
Okay, yeah, comms very very important here in team play, making sure everyone's on the same page there. Yeah, I mean, really really solid performance there. Is it mentally draining, like physically draining, to play 3 such close games in a series like this, or do you feel like you've got enough experience under your belt as players where 3 good games you're feeling pretty good at the end?
I think it. I don't know, Birdie, if you have thoughts after, but I think it depends on kind of how you keep the team energy going after the loss. I think we tried to stay upbeat and make some jokes and
Yeah.
say
Keep
things
the
like we
energy
win
high.
these. Keep the energy high. Because if you start focusing on all the things you did wrong, then it kind of sticks in people's brains. So we tried to limit kind of the post-mortem of the first game.
Yeah, and for me, playing on heroes that I'm comfortable on, that I don't have to think too much about, is good. But if I'm like playing auto attack Vala, I need to be doing so much that wears me out. But just Falstad and whatnot that's easy enough to play.
Makes sense. Makes sense. I remember, like, definitely from a shot call perspective, it's tough to shot call and play mechanically demanding
Yeah.
heroes. So it's nice to be able to do something a little simpler like that. So tell me about how Tricky Gooses is going this season. Do you any big changes in personnel from past seasons? Do you feel like the team is doing pretty happy, pretty healthy going into week number 2 here?
Oh, yeah, our savior Duke is taking on the tank role. That's a pretty big switch up for us. And Nani is back from a break of a season, I think. So um, Duke's really the only new element, but we are mixing some things around at the same time. So it's been interesting.
Yeah, I relieved Duck from playing Jahan every game so he could get more creative. So no, it's been great. I actually played against Tricky Gooses last season in Dive. So it was kind of fun to come over, and I could tell them all the ways in which we strategize against them, and no, I think it's been a really good fit. I'm really excited with the team so far, and I think we're still working on kind of figuring out our drafts and like what heroes synergize well, because I kind of joined the team only 2 weeks before the season started, so we're still kind of getting up to speed. So I think second half of the season we're hoping to to be a little bit more polished.
Okay. In the state of the game we're in now, we're just like, what we have is what we've got. Do you feel like it's more beneficial as a team to really refine what your current strategies and hero pools are? Or do you think this is sort of an opportunity to branch out into some weird stuff, like trying out Maevs and Vikings and Hammers and all the sort of stuff that, can catch people off guard, but wasn't really worth learning in, when the game was patching the way it was?
Yeah, at least for me, I think at the level we're at, so I don't know, Dive is like maybe, diamond-ish level. I think every hero is viable as long as the person playing gets comfortable and like how it contributes to the win condition. So I definitely think there's room for us to come up with strategies with heroes that you may see less often. And the other thing is the other teams may be less experienced against it, right, as you said. So I think it's definitely viable. There's a couple of heroes in our pool that are not played very often at the highest level. So we look forward to maybe bringing those out over time.
Fantastic. All right. Well, the reverse sweep 2-1 victory for you tonight. Congratulations on that. Why don't you tell folks where they can find you when you're not around these parts?
Well, I don't really stream on Twitch. Occasionally, I'll cast some NGS games, so you can find me on Twitch and the Duke if I do end up casting some NGS this season, if I find some time. So, but other than that, I mean, yeah, we're generally in Storm League, and hopefully we'll see some of the folks in chat in the Nexus.
Yeah, catch us in V formation in the Nexus.
Fantastic. All right, Duke, Birdie, thank you so much for coming on by. Congrats on the win once again, and good luck going forward here in the season.
Yeah, thank you for casting.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure. Have a good one.
You too.
You too.